Hello, it's Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter here. If, like me, you're looking to decorate your home for Easter, you might be interested in how I made this Easter floral wreath from shabby chic rags. You won't believe what I made it from. Come with me and I'll show you how I did it. If we take a look, you'll see that some of the fabrics are familiar because they're the fabrics that I used in the spring bunting that I made that I'm giving to my friend as a gift for her birthday. And you'll see, if you use dark purples, and you'll recognise this lime green Easter egg fabric. Somewhere I've got the purple funky fabric as well. It's not just for Easter. I'll leave this up throughout the spring. Most of these are the seams from and hems from men's shirts, and at the top I've taken them apart already so they become like a shabby chic ribbon. You can see on this very pretty blue what the ribbon will look like once it's taken apart. This, from the length, is the hem that I cut off, and I've only got to unpick that one piece of thread. On the side seams, most men's shirts are sewn with a French seam. That means that there's a double layer of stitching and the inside hem is hidden between those stitches on the inside. When you look at that, there's usually 3 pieces of stitching there and they're harder to pick apart. But I'm going to take my time doing this, and I do it while I'm watching the television. So let me go and do that, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to cut my ribbons to the right length and my choice of metal wreath. To take the seams apart, I'm going to use this Clover seam ripper. This is one of the best seam rippers I've ever had. Fits beautifully in the hand, and this blade is very sharp. I highly recommend these. If you manage to pull a thread and then pull right the way along, you'll find it much easier and much quicker to take those seams apart. Right, apart from the yellow dot, which to get a tiny piece of fabric was taking me far too long. So I'm just going to cut up some of the pieces that were left over from cutting out from my bunting. The thing about reclaimed fabric is some of the material has been folded and in an awkward position. You don't know how long it's been in that position, and it has a memory, so it wants to constantly go into that fold. This has come from a cuff, and you can see how many times this has been folded back, and it's full of holes and folded. What I'm going to do first of all is just pop them in for a short wash in the washing machine, and because I don't want all those little ribbons to come apart in the washing machine, I'm going to put them inside a pair of tights and then knot the end so at least they stay in one place. And then once I've dried them, I'm going to try ironing them. Sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? Let me see how I get on doing this. Because I bought these shirts in a charity shop, I've washed them since I've got home, so the fabric itself is clean. By washing them, I'm hoping that I can relax that fabric so that I can iron those seams open easier. And I'm also hoping that the washing and ironing will help get rid of some of the holes that have been caused by the thread going through the fabric at the seams. Let me see what happens. I'm just going to put it on a quick 20-minute wash, and I have put them in knotted tights. Cross fingers. I also have this heart shape, which is 13 inches across its widest. And if I've got enough fabric, I might do that one as well. I'm going to do the round wreath first. The principles of tying ribbon to these metal wreaths are the same no matter what shape you have. Shabby chic look, I need an irregular shape. You can vary your width and shape, but the small pieces are just going to go into my scrap bin that I keep in the kitchen. Some of those might be too long, I might need to cut them down, we'll see. I keep a convenient pedal bin under the kitchen table, and I put my fabric scraps in there, and it's only used for fabric scraps. Well, they look a mess, don't they? But that's them washed and still damp. I'm going to dry them with a dry iron, see how I get on with that. And what I might do is use my little craft patchwork iron and sit and iron these while I'm watching the telly. It's Red Nose Day today, so I might do that. Well, it's a bit slow, but I'm sitting down watching Red Nose Day and I'm not in any hurry. So it is working, this. I've just got to be careful I don't leave this iron on unattended. Right, my ribbon strings now look like this. It's okay still to have folds in them, and it's okay that there's loose threads and little bits of cotton still. This is going to be shabby chic, so the fact that it isn't perfect is actually going to work in my favour. But I am going to cut them down now into about 4 or 5 inch lengths, and then they're ready for me to start adding to my wreath. Let me show you 3 ways to add the rags to the wreath. The third way is helpful if you've got dexterity problems. For the larger wreaths, I recommend that you cut your rags about 6 inches long. Let me show you with this one. The way that I do it is I fold my fabric in half. I place the loop underneath. I always do the inner loop first. I place the fabric underneath so that I've got a fold, and place the fabric through the fold, pull it tight, and then push the fabric back. The knots will then go next to each other and you'll get a thicker layer. Put as many knots that you can in until you get to the next metal bar. That's the way I do it. There's a second way where you would place your fabric just underneath so that the wrong side is against the metal. Fold it over so that you have a simple knot, and then you get your fabric like that. I don't think that's quite as neat. And then the third way, especially if your fabric is a little bit short, let me show you with this shorter piece. When I was doing the small wreaths, this is the way I did it because some of the areas were really fiddly. I used the same principle of placing my fabric under and creating a hole. And instead of doing that, what I did, I reached in for the fabric. I'm going to show you upside down here. What I did, I'm right-handed by the way. What I did, I took my tweezers through the hole in the fabric and grabbed the 2 ends there and then pulled it through. And after doing the large wreath on, what night is it now? Sunday. After doing the large wreath, my hand was really hurting, and I found that method of creating the same type of knot, which I would recommend this type of knot, was a lot easier on my hand. Let me show you that again, because that was a bit awkward. I'll show you that third way again. Create a fold, place the fold underneath the metal, hold the fabric ends with your finger, between your finger and thumb, and go underneath the fold with a pair of tweezers, and then grab the fabric and pull it through. I find it helpful if you hold on to that fold in the fabric and then pull it tight. You get the same effect as these, but it's not as hard on your fingers. I bought these tweezers from Crafter's Companion when I visited the works and got them in a sale. So great pair of tweezers they are. So that gives you 3 ideas of how to knot any rag wreath. Shall we take a look at how neat the knots are? And this little pack of polystyrene coloured speckled eggs are from B&M. These cost £1 a pack. This little wreath I've made is like a bird's nest. It started out looking like this, and I separated the 2 rings. I think I bought this in the range in the Christmas sale. I've separated the 2 rings and I've applied the rag wreath in the same way. I've then added a chiffon ribbon at the top, and I glued the fabrics together one over the other to give it some depth. And then over the top of the star, because I don't want a star at Easter, I've glued down some of the speckled eggs from B&M. It's very lightweight, and I've literally then used a hot glue gun to connect the 2 wreaths together and glue the speckled eggs on here and here just to stop them from moving. And then that's going to be a nice decorative hanging. I think that's going up in my kitchen. Oh, the sheer organza ribbon I bought at Innovations. I've had that years. Right, let's hang it up. This pack of ready decorated eggs ready to hang on string were from the range. That looks very pretty in my bathroom window, and in the evening the tree lights will light up if I put new batteries in it. And it makes a really nice display when I put the lights on in the evening. So there's 3 home decor ideas. How will you decorate yours? Come back and see me soon for more crafting, won't you? Bye.